DM. Why am I doing all this bullshit? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Today's show is going to be a little deep, but it's very much needed as I'm sitting here hanging out at a beautiful desert resort in Dubai. So with that said, let's get started.
I'm more Kevin's DM. I'm here to help and teach him what I know and how I did it to discover freedom. There ain't no question more Kevin's when he step in the door. He's closing deals. Time to tell him what the DM stand for. I'm a deal maker, but I'm not just a deal maker. I'm a dream maker.
Hey there, it's your boy Mark Evans, DM. Welcome to another Making of a DM podcast show. If my throat sounds a little crazy today, well, it's because it is. I'm sitting here in the beautiful desert in Dubai. So we're at a pretty cool resort, hanging out with the family, very high-end, pretty cool environment. I'll share more on that later. But I want to talk to you today about a bunch of things. But before I do, I'd like to ask you a favor. If the show has ever made an impact in any way, shape, or form to you by listening, if you're brand new, welcome. But if you have 5 seconds to share the show with a friend, something that's been impactful or important here today, or get over to the whatever platform you're listening to and leave a 5-star review, or even share the show on social media, it would mean so much to me. Subscribe to the show so we can connect with you, talk with you, and help you. I'm here for free. I want to be here. I'm excited to be here, and I have nothing to sell you. I want to help you. Not to say we don't have products and services and cool things happening in our worlds, but I have real businesses in multiple verticals doing all types of revenue in different places. Some things are amazing in business. Some things are terrible in business, and everything in between. That's called real business, by the way. It's not a hockey stick straight up and everything's perfect on the way up, that's for sure. But I'm here to share with you real day-to-day insightful stuff. And I hope you know that if you've listened to me anytime at all, I just genuinely want to help people that want to help themselves. So if you could, share the show, help some friends out, and leave a 5-star review and let me know. But today's topic, like the subject line said, is why are we doing all this bullshit? Why do we put ourselves through all this stuff? You know, from employees to stress, to hiring, to firing, to, expanding, to getting financing, to going to events, to missing kids' sporting events, and just all of this stuff it takes to be a true, real entrepreneur. Why are we doing all of it? Do you have your answer? Because these are things that are going to be very important for you as you grow. Some people are here just to do it for the money. That's cool. Some people are here because it's like, well, this is what I'm passionate about. Okay. Well, you better be real passionate, because when shit hits the fan, passion is a very important piece here, right? I'm sitting here, like I said, at the desert. This is not a cheap trip. We've been gone for 2 weeks, and I'm looking around. I mean, literally any exotic car you could think about is in Dubai, where we've been staying at. Any luxury brand you could ever think about is around where we're at. And I'm watching people. I'm paying attention to what they're up to, how they're making moves, how they're not making moves, who they're talking to, what are they always on their phone? I'm very conscious of that feature, by the way, just paying attention to humans. Are they always on the phone? And unfortunately, lots are. They're always looking at their phone. They're always on a phone call. They're always texting. They're always stressing. It's very interesting to me at all levels, by the way. But I had some realizations over the last couple of weeks about the game of life that we're all playing. Probably one of the biggest gifts I have, and I say this seriously, is I know I'm not here forever. So I genuinely don't care what anybody thinks about my moves. I'm not going to live forever. I want what I want. I don't care what you think I should have, or what I should look like, or what I should talk about, or how I should spell, or how I should talk. I don't care about that stuff. If you do, cool. But why are we doing all this BS? To leave our family better, to see what we're capable of, to make more money, to buy more stuff, to give to more charity. Like, what's your clarity on why you get up and stress out every day? We took a camel tour. That was pretty cool with the family. We took a sand dune tour. I don't know if you've ever done these sand dune tours, but they are pretty wild, to say the least. You know, you're in the Rover. You're going up these huge sand dunes and sliding down sideways, practically, it feels like, to the point where you get car sick. And I'm sitting here thinking about how cool this experience is with my family, how grateful I am to be able, I've built my life and businesses to allow me to travel the world and do things with my family. Even if I want to stay home with my family, I can. But as I was talking with these individuals, pretty much all of them only see their families once a year. A lot of these employees in these locations, they're from another country, and they've come here for the opportunity to make a better living. I'm not knocking that, by the way. I think that's awesome. But what price are you willing to pay to do that? Our driver literally only sees his family once every 12 to 18 months. He gets to see them for 4 weeks. That's it. He has 3 kids, teenagers all the way down to 5 years old. Now, as a father, I always wanted my family to be better off. But also, as a father, time with my family is way more important. And I would figure out a better path or a better way to create revenue, to create the life that I could give them with them. As you're building your companies and building your life as we speak, as you're listening to me, are you building it with intention? Do you really truly know the game that you're playing? Are you just saying stuff? Because your kids are going to find out if you're full of shit or not eventually, just so you know. But are you seriously involved in your children's lives, your spouse's lives, and your life? And if you're not married with no kids, cool as well. But now you have your parents, your grandparents, etc. Are you involved? Are you present? Are you aware? Are you around? Like I said, I could not imagine building a company that didn't allow me to spend time with the things I care the most about. Because let's be honest, in real business, there's always something to do. I could always be up in the office working. I could create another podcast show. I could write another book. I could go to another meeting. I could shake hands. I could travel across the country for a one-day meeting, come right back. I could do all these things. You could too. We all could. But the question is why? I remember back at December 31st, 2005, when I left Columbus, Ohio to travel for 1 month, I was scared to death. Keep in mind, I was working 16 hours a day. I loved it. I ruined lots of relationships because of it, close relationships. Not because I was a dick, just because I didn't care about anything but growing the business. I was obsessed. I was a slave to the company. The company owned me. I didn't own the company. And I left December 31st, 05, scared to death, dry heaving, excited, stressed, anxious, all in the same thought. When I got to South Beach, Florida with my girlfriend, now my wife, Dina, I remember sitting there, and it took about 2 weeks for me to really get calmed down a little bit. I was on edge for the first 2 weeks. Like, I'm going to lose everything, on the edge feeling. How long have you left your company? The truth is, I've left for 2 weeks. No one in my companies would even know I left if I didn't tell them. Because my companies run without me. I have true companies. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't be involved. I'm just saying, how should you be involved? I'm not in an office daily. I very rarely, ultra rarely go to an office, if ever. Doing a Zoom call I can do from anywhere in the world. No one would know. What was interesting about this trip is I'm 9 hours ahead of East Coast, right? So at noon, it's already 9 p.m. So it was interesting. I'm going to bed because that's my bedtime. When I'm going to bed, that's when kind of the East Coast is really starting to crank up. So those emails, those calls, these important calls that you got to put out fires and all that. Well, I didn't answer the phone. I didn't answer emails. I'm sleeping. It's interesting. Magically, this stuff gets done and handled when I don't handle it. because I've built companies and I've built teams and I've built people to help me run organizations. I see a lot of guys online. The reason I'm bringing this stuff up is I see lots of guys online that are selling coaching, mentoring, and talking negative about all this stuff. Oh, you're just, you do. If I see people, they're clowns and they do that. Like, okay, but are you building a real business? Because when I see you saying what you're saying, I know you're the person that you're talking about, acting like you're not them. You don't have a real business. You're never home with your family. You're always traveling. You're not taking care of business behind the scenes. And I know it because I know people you owe money to. And yet they put on this persona of that everything's amazing. It's easy. It's simple. It's quick. It's fast. I'm making so much money. But at the end of the day, they're just shit talking online, attracting these types of people into their life and wondering why their life keeps getting shittier. Well, when you shit talk, you attract shitheads, and then shitheads in your environment, you sell them something thinking they're going to solve the world's problems with your solution. And then they realize that you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Guess who they start shitting on next? I've seen this happen so many times. But in real business, I don't understand how people have time to even talk negative. Talk down to people. Talk down to, just get out there and work. Be productive. Be positive. But again, the question that always comes to hand is, why are we doing all this BS? Because when I see people shit talking all the time, I see people saying, oh man, I would never marry a girl. Here's why. And they're always talking about how having a family, how having a relationship, the wife's cheating or the wife's going to do this or the wife's going to. It's like, dude, deal with your own problems on your own time. Why are you sharing this on social media? I love being married. I think it's one of the greatest gifts in the world. I love having kids. It is the greatest gift in the world. And yet they spew this over and over and over and over. But what I've come to find out, this is how they connect with other people. Why? What I realized in this trip so far is, and I've known this because I do this often, but connect with yourself. That would be the best connection you ever make. Then connect with God and so forth. But too many people are trying to connect with losers and shit talkers and wonder why they're always in this weird cycle of negativity. Things are always hard. Things are always tough. You don't understand. Well, I understand because you're attracting it. Could you imagine being the guy or gal that's online talking negative, putting this stuff out to the world all the time? I can't, I don't get it. I'm kind of going on a rant here today because I've had a lot of thought time. I'm doing lots of thought auditing. And I keep thinking creation versus consumption. I'm in this beautiful resort. I like that kind of stuff. I enjoy investing a lot of money in myself, being around beautiful stuff, very thoughtful, as opposed to Howard Johnson. I'm not trying to hang out at Howard Johnson. I'm not knocking. If that's what you like, cool. I like this, you like that. That's fine. But I sit here and think when I'm in these environments, I become very creative because my creativity is limited by what I have seen or been around. So when I get around new creatives and things, they just break my framework and it allows me to think bigger, think different, think clearer. This is why I'm doing all this bullshit, by the way. That's why I'm sharing this with you. I don't care if you ever give me a penny. I really don't. I genuinely don't. I want to help the individual that's listening to my voice right now on the other side of the speakers. I want to help that person that's trying to help themselves. They've never had someone in their corner. Maybe they didn't have the gifts I had or the connections I had or the mindset I had even in the beginning. I feel very blessed to be in this position in my life. And I have to be honest with you, I've worked my ass off to get here. I've done stuff that I've never known people to do where I'm from. And that's what I'm thinking about when I shoot these podcast shows. I'm like, who is the other Mark out there? I don't care what age he or she is, but who's that person that I can touch, I can connect with and make an impact in their life to make them better by planting positive seeds, sharing true wisdom, not some bullshit made up stuff that I read out of a book and I just regurgitate, but stuff I'm really going through day to day. I'm almost 28 years in the game of real business. I still deal with bullshit every single day, just like you. I'm in the trenches. The difference is the value of the trenches I'm in. In the beginning, you just got to do whatever. But as you evolve, my scariest thing is if you've been listening to me for years and you're 10, 15, 20, 30 years in the game and you're still doing the same bullshit, that's when I get concerned. If I wake up next year and I don't feel dumb from the last year, I'm not doing it right. I'm constantly growing. I'm constantly getting outside of my comfort zone of fear. I got people that are waiting on me and like they need my help in my companies. If I don't lead and share insightful information, give them vision, give them direction, what happens to the company? I want to help you. I want to help everybody. It's just my personality. But I can't help people that don't have direction. I can't help people that don't take action. I can't help people that think it's get rich quick doing nothing. I can't help people that are negative. If you're not willing to invest in yourself, invest time, energy, and money in yourself constantly, you're always setting caps on your top limit of what you're capable of. Always. Why are you doing all this bullshit? To make 100 grand, 1 million, 10 million, 100 million and beyond? Why are you doing all this? This is a question you should really ponder and write down and do a lot of thought auditing. It's going to give you some clarity and probably have you eliminate some of the shiny object bullshit that you're also doing that you should not be doing. Why are you doing all this? I'm very clear why I do this podcast show. To make an impact in individuals' lives that I probably more than likely will never ever meet. But I want to help people. I get great joy getting messages with people like, dude, that podcast show changed my life. Evans, I've been listening to you for 4 years. You don't understand. Podcast, this one finally made sense. It's all coming together now. Dude, I just sold my company for $32 million. Thank you. That's why I write books. I write books not for you. Yes, it's great to help you, but to create a timeline to share with my children, my great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren I'll never meet. They'll be able to pull up the audiobooks or the videos or the textbooks that I've written today and realize and follow my journey through the steps of the books. Creation over consumption. I can't create this podcast show by sitting around listening to an hour podcast show when it takes me an hour to do this. I'm not saying I don't listen to podcast shows. I do it when I'm doing my workout. Too many of you are consuming, over-consuming, which is eliminating action to get you the results. If you're overwhelmed and frustrated, it's not because you can't do the work. It's simply because you're not doing the work. Maybe you're not doing the work because you're afraid to fail. Well, guess what? You're fucking failing by not doing the work. So go out and fail doing the work to get the result. I was really saddened when I was talking to the driver and he said, man, we live in this place with 200 and something people and we only get to see our kids once a year at best. As a father, as a husband, as a family guy, it's devastating to me. But you know what was cool? He was like one of the happiest individuals, very respectful, well-spoken, insightful, funny, genuine. He connected with me and the family. He knows why he's doing all of it. He said, I got 5 years to do it. He has a plan. I'm going to make as much money as I can over the next 5 years, and then I'm going back. That's not what I would do, but hey, listen. That's his plan, and it's working for him. To me, 5 years of my children's life's not worth a dime. There's not enough amount of money in the world you could give me to miss 5 years of my children's life. I would come up with a solution. Maybe he will. Maybe he's on the journey too. Again, I'm not here to judge it. I'm just here to bring it to awareness. Why are we doing all this BS? Thought audit these things that you're doing. What's driving you stress? Why are you doing it? What is the root cause of it? What's your decision-making process like or not like? Are you hiring people to help make your life easier? Let me just be real clear with you too. Why I'm here in Dubai, I have a couple real big things happening in business and in life. Big. Some really good stuff and some really bad stuff. And I have 7 team members. I'm talking third-party people that I pay a lot of money to give me confidence, courage, insightfulness, just very peaceful. Just give me peace with the game I'm in and what I'm dealing with. And I'm talking lawyers, accountants, and all that stuff. If you're sitting here listening to my voice and you're doing all this shit on your own, you're working way too hard for way too little. I used to be you. I was like, I would never pay a lawyer $1,200 an hour. Now I think I'm getting the best deal in the world at $1,200 an hour. They're professionals. They know what they're doing. They allow me to sleep better at night knowing that I have a pro in my corner to help me. You can always get someone cheaper. That doesn't always mean better. And I'm not saying price is the only component, but from my experience, people that are cheap, typically in these fields, aren't getting the job done to the level that we need them. We think we're saving money, but you're causing a lot of stress on yourself. And when these bad things and good things are happening, I'm very conscious of, why am I doing all this BS? I don't need to. I have the funds to create a life that I've never even dreamt of. I didn't even dream of this life. And yet people continue to chase more. I'm not trying to chase more. I'm trying to be more. Be a better husband, be a better dad, be a better son, be a better brother, be a better friend, be a better leader to my teams. That's what I'm building. That's why I'm doing all this BS. I want to help the marks out there that need a hand up, not a handout. I want to be the voice that someone connects with, like, dude, that's my guy. I want you to know, real entrepreneurship is not for everybody. It's challenging. There's a lot of ups, a lot of downs. Like I said, if I didn't have these 7 team members that I'm paying money to help me with the situations I'm dealing with, I'd be losing money. I'd be stressed. I'd be sleeping less. I wouldn't be attentive to the family. I wouldn't be having fun on this trip, that's for sure. But yet, I go to bed at night peacefully. I wake up peacefully. I don't have to check emails and phone calls. They got my back. Who's got your back? This doesn't happen overnight. You got to start forging and building relationship capital. And you got to stop talking about things and start doing things. I want you to thrive in 2024. I want you to thrive forever. But it's just not a straight line. If you haven't done this, or you can't do this, but you need to do this, you need to step out of your business for a while. 10 to 14 days. You can usually get by 5 to 7 days. But once you start getting past that anxiety, I want you to pay attention every day. How do you feel? What's going on? Because you and I, we're delusional. We think everything's great. It's easy. It's quick. It's simple. But yet we just deal with shit. We're just good at it. But we're not trying to be good. We're trying to be great. When I'm sitting in the resort over in Dubai, not the one I'm in right now talking to you from the desert, but in the resort, the other one that costs $1.6 billion to build. I've never seen money flowing around like I have in that building. Massive amounts of wealth. Billionaires everywhere. 100 millionaires like water. True story. You have every high-end luxury shop you could think of in a hotel. It's like a mall. People are buying, you walk down our aisle, our hallways to get into the room, and literally there's racks of Louis Vuitton clothing. Hundreds of thousands of dollars of clothes everywhere. Like, it's no big deal. I'm not knocking that. I'm not into consumption like that. And I almost feel like sometimes people are trying so hard to impress others, and yet they're never fulfilled. It's not about others. It's about you. So when I show up to this podcast show, I have my notes. I thought on it daily. And I think about, why are we doing all this BS? That's what I've been asking myself every day for the last 13 days. And when asking this question, I've had some realizations that some of the stuff, I don't even know why I'm doing it. Right? We're moving so fast. We say yes to a lot of things we shouldn't say yes to. We purchase things we shouldn't purchase. We do things we shouldn't do. And yet we wake up and we're like, shit, why am I doing this? Or worse, you never ask that question. You just keep going. I want you to know you're not alone. But if you don't ask questions, if you don't get in groups like the Dealmaker Alliance, where people want to help you and guide you and help, like, be a support team for you, you're working way too hard for way too little. You're taking on way too much risk for way little reward. You're better than that. It's okay to invest in yourself. It's okay to take the extra step, to take the leap in yourself. You're worth it. I mean, the DM Alliance is only $1,000 a month. And you have access to 127 people from all over the country and all types of businesses and verticals that will help you and guide you. Not counting we meet twice a year in person. Not counting we meet every Wednesday at 12 noon for an hour. Live. Not counting that we have a full private access of 2 years of calls and training in a back office. It's one of the most epic groups I've ever been a part of. I've never been more proud of a group of people pushing through their fears, accomplishing goals they never even thought they could accomplish, asking questions, helping other people, and being involved. If the DM Alliance has ever made sense to you, or you ever heard of it, or want to hear more about it, shoot me a message on Instagram at Mark Evans DM and just put in DM Alliance /podcast. And I'll know it's you. I want you to know I'm in this game with you. I want to bring you clarity, focus. I want you to reshift your goals. I want you to get clear on your goals, I should say. I want you to execute and accomplish your goals. Most of you listen to my voice don't even have goals. And if you do, they're very set, very low. I want you to get around big thinkers. I want you to borrow other people's belief systems, because the truth is a lot of people don't believe in themselves. The time is now. It's never been bigger. And I want you to know I'm rooting for you. I'm thinking about you. And I'm willing to fight with you. But you got to be a part of the team. And you're here on this podcast show. Keep listening to it. Don't stop. Go back and listen to other shows. And listen to my voice. Understand what I'm really saying. There's a way to do this right, and there's a way to do this wrong. And unfortunately, lots of people are doing it wrong. I don't think they're doing it on purpose. They just never stopped and asked, why am I doing all this BS? Just to make a couple bucks? We're better than that. We can do more together. So I want you to know I'm here. I'll be back in the States on the next podcast show. I'm excited to talk to you. And if you've never been to Dubai, you might want to put that on your list. It's kind of a cool place to hang out. Anyways, thinking about you guys. So with that said,
I'm Mark Evans DM. I'm here to help and teach them what I know and how I did it. To discover freedom. There ain't no question Mark Evans when he step in the door. He's closing deals. Time to tell him what the DM stand for. I'm a deal maker. But I'm not just a deal maker. I'm a dream maker. The journey's where it's at. It's all about the process. It's time to get over to the DM Project. From a small town in Ohio, so I know how it is. Did not come from a lot of money. I remember as a kid, wanted to make 100 racks. Didn't see no one making more than that. Graduated high school with a 1.8. They should've held me back. I hold my breath. principals and teachers are alive just to witness this. I'm my own boss, I'm out here running 2-8-figure businesses. I can walk away from it all, and I'll be good, but I've been called to help people just like y'all learn the game. It's time to ball. Everybody chasing the money, but I'm not chasing the money. I'm out here chasing the purpose, yo, I've been working my whole life. What got us where we at isn't gonna get us where we wanna go. So it's time to push, time to learn, time to grow. I'm more Kevin's DM. I'm here to help and teach him what I know and how I did it. To discover freedom. There ain't no question more Kevin's when he step in the door. He's closing deals. It's time to tell him what the DM stand for. I'm a deal maker, but I'm not just a deal maker. I'm a dream maker. The journey's where it's at. It's all about the process. It's time to get over to the DM project. I'm more Kevin DM. Deal maker. Deal maker. Deal maker. Deal maker. Deal maker. Deal maker. DM project.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.